Hi everyone. Haven't been on in a few days, so just thought I'd pop on. And rather than having a moan, I thought I'd share a bit of a funny story today instead. I was actually sharing this story with a friend of mine via FaceTime just a few days ago, and she thoroughly enjoyed it. So I thought maybe actually just bring a bit of light-heartedness to um, the filming today and share the video with you. So I'm going to crack on. So throwback to around about February 2020. So Bobby would have been just over a year old. He he at that point was already quite cheeky and quite mischievous. But little did we know quite what he was capable of. So I was supposed to be taking him to a baby group. And the morning had started off really quite unpleasant, so I decided to go in the car. But then the weather changed, and I thought, no, I'm going to go in the pushchair. I'd already put his coat in the car, so I left the door open. For those of you that know where we live, it's literally our car is right outside of our front door, so I'm not having to go into a separate car park or anything to leave the house. Some may disagree and think that was a bad idea, but I had done it many times before. I left him downstairs. He would often stand at the front door watching me, or just not even be bothered because he knew I'd be back within a matter of seconds. So I'd quickly nip to the car. Didn't have my coat or my phone or anything. Didn't even make it off the end of the pathway, which is probably about 6 steps in total, before I had the door closed, which I thought was, not unexpected, but equally not a big deal because our door is one that remains open regardless, unless you actually lock it from the inside or the outside. So, but rather than walking back to the car and going and getting the coat, which is what I'd originally planned, I went back to the door anyway, just in case, thinking I don't trust what he's going to get up to inside, with the door closed. And when I got back to the door, it would not open. Now, what he'd managed to do at 1 year old was to turn the deadbolt on the door, and it was completely locked. Now, with it being February, there were no windows open in my house. The back door was fully locked because we were supposed to be going out. And obviously now the front door was locked. I had no phone on me, I had no coat on me. It was freezing cold, and my child was now locked inside the house. So I'm there banging on the door, talking to a 1 year old about turning the deadbolt, the lock, and trying to get the door open. And after probably what was only about 10-20 seconds, but it felt like forever, I realised that I was not going to get him to open the door up. He just didn't understand what he'd even done. And the likelihood was that there was no way I was getting him to open the door. So then panic kicks in. I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to get my child out? To top it off, my partner was working away, and this was about 9 o'clock in the morning. So he was going to be away that whole day and then that evening and not be back till the following day. So I couldn't even rely on him being home relatively soon. At that point, one of my neighbours pulls into the road, so I call her over. Her and her partner come over, and he basically just sets it out straight, and he says, there is no way you're getting that door down by yourself. You've got 2 choices. You can either phone a locksmith or you can call the fire brigade. Obviously I have no phone, so they very kindly lend me their phone, and I decide that the best option, which is the quickest one, is to call the fire brigade. So that's what I do, call the fire brigade. Highly embarrassing. And at this point, I'm just obviously desperate to get into Bobby. Just, besides myself, because I know he's downstairs. Although it's really safe down there, the only thing that I was concerned was that he was going to climb on the sofa, and we've got hard floor, so my fear with him being only 1 at that point was that he would climb on the sofa, fall off and bang his head, and I couldn't go into him. Other than that, it is really safe down there, but still the fear of what they could get up to. So I was like, great, okay, let's just phone the fire brigade. So within a few minutes, we live right near the fire station. One of the firemen trots over and kind of inspects the property, and he's like, so no windows open, no doors, no, great. And then he's right, well, we've got two choices. We can either smash a window or knock the back door down. At the time, I don't know why, but I thought the back door was the better option. Mainly because I didn't actually want the glass smashing into the house, and then obviously Bobby being in there and potentially going anywhere near it. What I didn't realise was the price difference in replacing a window. It's a lot cheaper than replacing a whole back door. But anyhow, I made my decision. So with that, then the fire engine pulls out of the fire station, all its lights going straight into our street. Obviously then the neighbours start peering out, wondering what's going on, and I feel like the worst mother alive at this point. And so yeah, then another further three fire people jump out of the fire engine with their battering thing, whatever it is, to knock the door down. Then I realised that to get to the back door, which is the door that they're going to knock down, they now have to climb over all my partner's building stuff. So there's like wheelbarrows, back doors, like that were meant to be from previous jobs that we were saving for the things. There was all sorts piled up at the back of this house, back of our house, and they had to climb over it all, and it was all just rubbish. So nothing, just no way it could be moved. So embarrassing. So anyway, they climb over it all, they get to the back door, they knock the back door down, and they get Bobby out and obviously let me into my house. The door was then kind of pushed closed, and the deadbolt was used to lock the back door, and then I had to make the awful call to my partner to tell him what had happened, and Bobby all this time thinks the whole situation is hilarious. When the fireman says to him, "Did you lock the door?" he literally laughs out loud in like an evil cackle, and yeah. So we then had a completely destroyed back door, which then cost quite a lot of money and time to replace. And yeah, I just still to this day cannot believe that at 1 year old, what he was capable of. We did end up taking the lock off the bottom of the door because it was really badly situated, like placed on the door in the first place. It was placed literally at his height, so it was really easy for him to notice it and to turn it. So we took that off. It's now gone. But then obviously I went on to tell friends about what had happened. I have a friend that lives on the street who then within a matter of weeks, their child did the exact same thing with the doors. It's such a bad design. And yeah, moral of the story is, just don't trust your children. Just don't, because they do things you don't expect. And that was a prime example. So yeah, Bobby was absolutely fine at the end of the story. It was me that was probably the worst out of it all, because I was incredibly embarrassed by all the neighbours being aware of the disaster of the day, incredibly embarrassed by the fact that the poor fire engine, poor firemen and women had to climb over all our rubbish down the side of our house, all the building bits. And all in all, I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. But now, obviously, all these months on, I can look back and laugh. So, yeah, that's my funny story for today. If you've got any funny stories of things your children have done that have been disastrous, preferably with a happy ending, then please comment, or send me them privately if you don't want to share them. But children are so unpredictable, and you literally don't know what each day is going to bring. Sometimes it's great things, sometimes it's bad things. So whatever your day brings today, I hope it's okay. At the moment, Bobby is currently laid in bed and I'm meant to be having a nap, which is why I'm on now. But he is just kicking the edge of the bars of his bed and stuff, basically causing as much noise as he can. So we'll see what happens with nap time today. I'm not feeling very optimistic. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Just under 10 minutes, which is pretty good for me. So have a lovely day, everybody, and I'll speak to you all soon.